Hopefully they didn't change the color. That would be funny. They're like, oh, you wanted a white car that you can actually take care of the paint. Oh, I gotta knock on the door. Ready? Damn! Oh my God. Okay, so where we're heading is to HD Look to pick up my Supra, which they have had for about a week now. And Tom Welga, who I've known for a number of years, offered me a full restoration and some other goodies because I think even he knows that that car deserves better than I do, and instead of just taking the ownership away from me, he's offered to do some magic. So we're gonna hop in the LS right now, which probably this car could also use a little bit of love. There's little blemishes like that I've talked about on my other channel. And maybe Tom, maybe this is coming to you next. But for the meantime, let's go pick up the Supra. I've seen a few teasers, but I haven't seen what's actually gonna happen with it. I'm super excited and we will see what happens. Okay, so while I'm in the back of the LS on the way to go see the Supra, I might as well talk about why the Supra is like this in the first place. Also, I never sit in the back seat, but whenever I'm with Jamie, he does like to drive. So it's nice for me because then I get to just kind of chillax and enjoy. And usually I'm like a backseat driver, but with him, I just let him do his thing. And back here, I forgot that there's buttons for like heated seats and stuff like that. And I mean, these cars were originally made to like have the owner drive around in the back. So I'm not super surprised, but I did forget it's there, and that's a really cool thing. So it's not that I'm a terrible Supra owner. I do keep it really clean. And I think from what I've been told, that's part of my problem. Because every time I wash it, I do touchless, like I do a touchless wash, but I always hand dry it with like an absorber. I don't think that's doing all of the damage. I think a lot of the damage is also that I try to wax it myself all the time. So even though I'm using like a fresh micro, it's got no edges on it. Like I always pay extra for like the micros without any edges. I still think I'm doing something wrong, because even when we dropped it off to Tom and like in the lighting in his shop, you could see all of these swirl marks and stuff like that. And I think that's me just trying to love my car so much that I'm actually hurting it. And for all of you relationship gurus out there, I think we've all been there where we love someone so much that it's toxic. And that's the best way to describe my relationship with my Supra right now, is it's a toxic relationship. And my LS, Jamie says as he drives my LS. It's also a black car, but this car, okay, to be fair, the LS had problems before me. Yep. I just didn't help all the problems. So that's part of it. The other part of it is we can't ignore the fact that this paint, not this paint that we're in right now, but the paint of the Supra is how many, 30 years old. And although Jamie did paint the hood for me, I did have the bumper painted at one point. But other than that, that paint is really old Toyota paint from Japan. So I think some of it's not my fault, even though probably most of it is. So one of the reasons I am super excited about this is I've purposely made it so that I haven't seen all of the reveal. Like I've been tagged in the stories for HD Look and Tom and his top guy, but I purposely didn't look at the footage too much. Like I just like hit share because I really want like a candid reaction of me, because even when I picked up this car to begin with, it's not like I got it from a dealership that had it all detailed and stuff for me. Anytime I've ever seen this car, it's been like in my possession, and as I explained earlier, it's not like I've been the best owner to it in terms of keeping it looking nice. So with the fact that he's a ceramic shop, he's well known in the car community down here in Niagara, I'm sure this thing's gonna be the nicest version of the Supra I've ever seen in my life. And it kind of reminds me of the car ride on my way to pick up the Supra for the very first time, which Jamie actually was there for. And he was driving, believe it or not. He was driving in like his 1995 Civic without second gear. Or maybe it did have second gear. I don't remember. And I was actually, Jamie, I was actually sitting in the back seat for that. And it was a two-door Civic, and there was four of us. Yeah, we were running 5 deep.
Yeah, I didn't have second gear.
And he didn't have second gear. Luckily, we're all pretty lightweight humans, because if not, jumping over second would have been tough. I remember when we first picked up the Supra, I was on the phone with my friend Jeff. He was, going through some tech issue on his car that I was helping him with, like wiring or something like that, trying to walk him through it. And we were in Vaughan and we were like trying to find where we're supposed to go, but we knew we were getting close to the train yard. And then we turned the corner and there the Supra was sitting super pretty in that lot. It's like one of my favorite memories, and there was a video of it. I don't know what happened to the video, but there was an actual video of us like yelling when we pulled up to see the Supra. So that was like the only surprise I've ever had with it, really. And it wasn't pretty. Like the bumper was broken when we pulled up. I had to like go underneath and like fix it with zip ties. In fact, this car has been held together by zip ties for a while. So I finally painted the bumper last year. I finally did the turbo upgrade that I wanted to do. So mechanically, it's in the best it's ever been. The bumper is looking the best it's ever been. So I'm super excited to see this whole car sort of come together today, which is super exciting. So we're sitting outside. They're just about to open up the garage door to see the first peek of it. Super excited. I really tried not to peek, but I got a little bit of it in there. Hopefully they didn't change the color. That would be funny. They're like, oh, you wanted a white car that you can actually take care of the paint. Oh, I gotta knock on the door. Ready? Damn! Oh my God. We were saying this is like Pimp My Ride. Also, I don't know if you realize this, Tom. This is the first time I've seen this car in good condition since I owned it, so. What? That's sick.
Don't touch it.
Oh, yeah, don't touch it.
40 fingerprints.
This is part of the problem. This is why we got here in the first place, was because I just keep touching my car all the time. This is sick. And it actually, now the new headlights actually look good with the paint.
Yeah, the front's got like a whole completely different stance.
Yeah.
It's just so crisp and clean.
Yes. I'm gonna be afraid to drive this now. I hope you guys know. Damn, this looks really good. Today we're at HD Look with Tom Wilga, picking up my Supra that just had a huge restoration to it. Tom, tell us what you did.
So when we got this car, it was pretty beat up, no offense.
None taken.
So, I mean, this thing's been through a ton of brush washes, as we could tell. Maybe the previous owner wasn't doing his job or his or her job cleaning it properly. We did a two-step paint correction and we followed it up with coating it with a 5-year ceramic coating. We took the wheels off, we cleaned them up, we coated them, we put everything together, and we got this.
I think one of my favorite parts about this is that I just got new headlights this year, and beside the old paint, it never rang in my head so loudly how different that paint looked versus something that was so fresh. So now having the headlights and the paint super, super minty fresh and both ceramic coated looks super good to me now. Okay, so I was telling these guys that I tried not to check social media a bunch of times to like make it so I could actually like be surprised.
Yeah.
But what I did see was the wheels off.
Yeah.
I saw you up on a lift and some pretty epic work and effort going into it. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do here and how it all started.
So, I mean, here specifically, we do a lot of detailing, a lot of ceramic coating and paint protection film. And kind of where all this stemmed from was when, I mean, back when I was in college, even before college, when we were just getting into cars, right in grade 12, it was just one of those things. Obviously, you got a brand new car, you want to keep it clean, right? It was brand new to me anyways. And I started cleaning the car, and then, you know, my buddies were like, hey, you do a good job. You know, you want to do mine? Sure, yeah, here's a tenner, here's, you know, whatever. And as time progressed, it became a little bit bigger, where I started doing money for a little bit more money, you know, try to fund those weekends out. And you know, it was never any expectation to become a business. It was just a hobby.
Got it.
Backtrack about, let's say back to 2009, that's when we actually opened up HD Look Group. And that's where we actually kind of opened up the business, and that's where it started. So 2018, we moved out here to Fenwick, and we've kind of ramped up operations. We built the studio, and then it's hopefully up from here.
The space is really cool. I like the lighting.
Thank you.
I like the vision for the lounge that's coming in.
Yeah.
Would you say, like, what's your ideal client? Like, is it a car enthusiast getting ready for a car show, which is how we know each other?
Yeah.
Or is it like someone who, it's springtime, they just want their car looking good for the summer?
We're not gonna be prejudiced, so to speak. I'm not gonna say, hey, I want your car, not yours.
Yeah.
For us, it's, we want people they want when they want the best, they got to come here. You know, that's I think that's the motto, should be the motto for any business. You know, you're offering the best value for your dollar. In terms of actual clientele, I want to make sure that when people bring it here, they have an expectation of top quality. They're going to get what they expect. There's going to be times where the expectations maybe are a little out of whack, but we try to kind of level things off with the client, make sure that this is what can be done, this is what we would do, and then we will go from there and make a plan.
Okay, I like that. What's the biggest, like the hardest car you've worked on so far? And please don't say it's...
No, I'll be honest with you, it was a brand new Ferrari SF90.
Okay.
And brand new means absolutely nothing, I think, nowadays with the way manufacturers are. It had a ton of defects from the factory back in Italy.
Dang.
And it was a matter of wet sanding, heavy compounding, doing some more wet sanding, de-nibbing.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it's worse than Tesla.
Wow.
Tesla paint, I should say.
And that's a big price tag for a car.
It's a huge price tag. And I mean, it is what it is, but again, we told him this is what would happen. We told the client, he said, make it perfect. And we made it as perfect as we could. So.
And then ceramic coated it.
Ceramic coated it, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. What did you do with the wheels off? So I saw the wheels look a lot better.
Yeah, so you know what, we, as a kind of an update or upgraded package, we offer a wheel off add-on.
Okay.
So when you do get your vehicle coated, we offer the option of taking the wheels off, cleaning the inside, the barrels, the lips, all your suspension, all your brake and everything, and then coating all that with a ceramic coating. So when you apply it, it makes it a lot easier when, obviously when you clean your car, the barrels are gonna stay cleaner longer and so on, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting on gloves because I keep touching this beautiful car that Tom just spent hours working on. But one of the things that really stuck out to me about this whole process was I was sent in the email like a report of different paint thicknesses and different areas on the car. Can you elaborate on a little bit what that was?
Yeah, sure. So we use a paint gauge just like this, and we sync it to our phone, which doing so, it allows us to measure the thickness of the coating, meaning the paint, the clear coat, the paint itself, and the different areas of the vehicle. And what this allows us to do is kind of get a sense as to what's happening underneath the paint, what's happening on top, and just how much we have to work with when we're actually polishing.
I think that's super important because I didn't know the actual history of this car before it came to Canada. And we could always see little areas that had like some staining from like acid rain, maybe like a blend here or there. So that was part of my worry about doing like a full restoration on this, was anybody that goes into it with like a super aggressive wheel, I was worried that that paint was just gonna wipe right off and then I'd have to paint the whole car again. So super happy that they did it that way, and just one more reason why these guys are the best in the biz. Okay, so there you have it. Even if you have a car with an old paint that maybe you've neglected for the last 10 years like I did here, if you go to the right people, you can almost bring anything back. And that was something I learned at the dealership level, even just when it comes to dents and dings, but also a car like this that did surprise me a little bit, because there was a time where I thought I was just gonna have to paint this whole car. And now after this restoration and protecting it with ceramic, I think I won't have to do that for many, many years, especially even keeping it clean is gonna be easier, because now I don't have to even touch it to dry it. Like I can just, the water's just gonna beat off, I can just use a blower or something like that, and it'll stay looking like this for a long time. And this is a 1995 paint job, and we were able to bring it back. So big shout out to Tom at HD Look. Big thank you to his co-pilot for this project, Neil. Both of these guys put a ton of hours and effort into this. Like I said before, over 15 hours. And the result, I cannot speak enough about. And I even got this little voucher that in 6 months from now, I'm gonna come back for a free wash and an additional product that gets applied and stuff like that. So big shout out to them. Thank you, HD Look, for doing this. And I'll see you guys in the next video.